This is Tracy Boyers. I'm just going to give you a short example of what Microsoft Flight Simulator 10 looks like. Starting out, looking down on the Jackson Airport, you can see runway 6 from the lower left there going to the upper right. It's on a 60-degree heading, and then runway 32, which is on a 320 heading, and then runway 14, which is the opposite, and then runway 24 is the opposite of runway 6 in the upper right hand corner heading down to the left. So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit, and you can see that as I zoom in, my airplane is sitting in the parking lot. This would represent the parking lot that's right behind the JCC Flight Center. The buildings aren't there, but you can kind of envision this as being the parking lot behind the Flight Center. So you can look at different views of the airplane. You can look at it from different angles, zoom in on it a little bit, and if I move the ailerons, you can see the ailerons moving. You can move the elevator up and down, and also can move the rudder using my rudder pedals back and forth. So just gives you an idea of the control surfaces on the airplane. So if we move inside the airplane, this is a virtual cockpit representation of the airplane. I can look around just like I'm sitting in the seat, and I can also get different views, zoom in on different parts of the instrument panel. And this is a 2D representation of the instrument panel, which is a little nicer to start with here because I can see more of the instruments without zooming around. So you can see it's shut down right at the moment. The master and the avionics switches and the key switches in the off position. So first thing I'm going to do is turn on the battery and the alternator master switches. Give it just a little bit of throttle here. You can see the throttle's fully out and the mixture is fully rich. Flaps are at 0. The pitch or the trim tabs are at takeoff position, and the fuel selectors selected for both fuel tanks. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn the key here and start the engine. So that starts the prop. So the next thing I'm going to do is flip on the avionics master switch, and that'll start. That'll turn on all the communications and navigation, transponders, DME, all the navigational gauges and such. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to set the nav1 frequency for the Jackson VOR, which is 109.6, and then make that the active frequency, which will make this gauge represent the VOR for Jackson. You can also see that the DME now is that's on R2, but if I switch that to R1, which is the nav1 radio, that will represent the nav1 distance from the VOR. So the next thing I'm going to do is bring up the ATC window here, and I'm just going to tune to the ATIS frequency and listen to the weather forecast or the current weather conditions. You can see the wind's calm, visibility is 20 miles, clear, so it's a nice sunny day. There's your 1741 Zulu. Hold back short instructions. And Sierra is the alpha numeric, or the alpha code for the current weather forecast. So go ahead and tune back to Jackson ground frequency, and I'm going to request taxi, and I'm going to request taxi to depart to the south.
Jackson ground, Cessna Golf Bravo Golf Foxtrot Mike with Sierra, request taxi to the active south departure. Cessna Golf Bravo Delta Foxtrot Mike, taxi to the whole short runway 24, via taxiway Echo Charlie Bravo Delta, contact tower on 120 at white, 7th one ready.
So I'm going to read that back to the control, to the ground.
Taxiing full short runway 24, using taxiway Echo Charlie Bravo Delta, Cessna Delta Foxtrot Mike.
So now I'm cleared to taxi to runway 24, which is the one that's in the very upper right hand corner of the the northeast corner of the airport, heading to the southwest. So I can shut off the ATC menu here, and I can change my window to the virtual cockpit, which is the one I like a little better, and I can give it a little throttle here and we'll start taxiing. So you can see I'm starting to move. I'm gonna start heading out of the so I'll pick you back up when I get out to runway 24. So you can see here that I've arrived at runway 24. I'm holding short at runway 24, and I'm going to bring up the ATC window again to contact the Jackson Tower on the 120.700 frequency and request clearance for takeoff.
Jackson Tower, Cessna Golf Bravo Golf Foxtrot Mike at runway 24, ready for takeoff. Departure to the south. Cessna Golf Bravo Golf Foxtrot Mike, clear for takeoff. Runway 24, south departure approved.
So I received my takeoff clearance, so I can get rid of the ATC menu and I can move out onto the runway. As you can see, I forgot to acknowledge.
For takeoff, runway 24, Cessna Delta Foxtrot Mike.
So I'm sitting at the runway, ready for takeoff. So flaps are 0, everything should be all set, and I'm ready to give it throttle and go. Here we go. I'm climbing out, and I'm at 1,500 feet, which is about 500 feet off the ground, because the Jackson Airport's at about 1,000 feet above sea level. Once I get to about 2,000 feet, I'm going to start my turn to the south. Start a turn to the south, which is to the right. You can see my heading right now is still 240. Actually, I'm wrong. The south is to the left. I forgot I took off on runway 24, so whoops, my bad. So I'm actually going to make a left-hand turn here and head out to the south. So I'll catch you in a few minutes once I get out over the area that I'm heading. Thanks. So as I fly out to the south here, I'm coming up on a couple of lakes, and I was wondering if you're around from the Jackson area, if you can recognize this lake that's coming up on the left here. It's a pretty popular lake that's just south of Jackson. You might recognize it by the shape. So we're about 3,000 feet, flying just almost over this this lake. And as we go by this lake, there's another one that's just beyond it here. It's another popular lake that's just to the south of Jackson here. If you can maybe recognize that too. We'll swing around and we'll do a loop around these lakes, and then we'll head back towards the airport. So make a little slight right turn here, and as we get close to this lake, you can see we're going about 100 knots and right about 3,000 feet, and level flight right now, heading at a heading of 150, so southeast. So this lake is another popular lake around the area, so let me know if you recognize them. So we'll make a left-hand turn here, and we'll make a loop around these lakes, and we'll head back towards the airport. So as I start heading back towards the Jackson Airport, I can use the nav1 and change the OBS until the indicator is centered, which tells me that I'm on that VOR radio. So I'm on about the 150 radio right now, and I'm heading back towards the Jackson Airport. So if I just stay on this 150 radio, you can see I'm on a heading of about 330, which means I'm on the 150 radio coming out of the Jackson VOR. So as of right now, I'm heading right back to the airport on the 150 radio at a heading of 330. So you can actually start seeing the airport just way off in the distance, and we'll contact the tower. You can see I'm about 9.4 nautical miles from the airport. We'll contact the tower here shortly. Alright, so I'm going to bring up the ATC window here, and I'm going to contact the Jackson Airport tower and request a full stop landing.
Jackson Tower, Cessna Golf Bravo Golf Foxtrot, Mike is 8 miles southeast with uniform to land. Cessna Golf Bravo Golf Foxtrot, Mike, Jackson Tower, flight left downwind, runway 24, altimeter 2992. Make left traffic, runway 24, Cessna Golf Foxtrot, Mike.
So wants me to do a left traffic pattern. So I'll enter the traffic pattern on the downwind and make a left base and then a left final. So you can see the airport just beyond the magnetic compass there, and that we're actually starting to see the runway lights for runway 32, but I'm going to be making a right hand turn here to enter the traffic pattern, the left traffic pattern, so I can make the left turns to come into runway 24. So you can see I'm about 4 miles from the airport. I'm going to start making a right hand turn here for the downwind leg, and then make left hand turns into runway 24.
Delta Foxtrot, Mike.
You can see my position relative to the airport. I'm actually flying parallel to runway 24 right now. I'm going to make the left turn to the base leg and then the left turn to the final here shortly. So I'm making my left turn to final approach on runway 24. Should see the runway come into view here in a minute. You see the heading now is at approaching 24. There's the runway. I'm going to straighten out a little bit. Reduce power. 10 degrees of flaps. 20 degrees of flaps. I need to get lined up with the runway, so I'm going to see I'm getting lined up here. Pretty well lined up with the runway. I'm going to go full flaps. Reduce my power. Over the end of the runway, reduce the power to idle. And we're down. I'm going to put on the brakes. And I'll just come to a stop here on the runway, and we would normally taxi to parking. So hope you enjoyed. Thanks.